Hi everyone, I just thought I'd do a quick little bonus video so that the people who are beginners will be able to sort of finish this off as best as they can. And I thought it might be nice to show you guys how to distress it, how to ink it, and add little extra special things to make it look really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this printable and this card, and I'm going to ink them and distress them so that they're all done for you guys and you can see how to do it. So what's going to happen is I'm thinking maybe I might even add on this little tab to the top of the library card just as an additional little extra something to make it look interesting, and so it's easy to pull in and out, but we'll see how I go. Also, because this is the Ouija one, I thought what might be really cool would be to have like a little Ouija, you know, the little pointer. So I had this that I cut off from the edge of one of the other printables that I made that we didn't need, this scrap, and so I kept it, and I've cut out a little triangle shape, and I punched with a hole punch a little hole in the middle to make my little pointer. I'm actually really quite happy with how that turned out. So I'm going to ink that up, and what I think I'll do is I'll put it on those 3D dots sitting on the top of it so that it has like a bit of a clearance on the bottom, and I think that'll look really cool. So okay, let's get started, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this side because when we fold it up, this will be showing, and I do have a printable paper to go on the back of this, but I wanted to show you guys how another way that you can make it look. So I'm going to use my my mini mister. It's a Tim Holtz mini mister, and I'm going to use I'm going to use 3 mists. These come in a pack as a distressing ink kit, and I'm going to use 3 distress spray paints today, spray stains, I beg your pardon, and my little dauber. And I'm going to use the antique linen, vintage photo, and walnut stain. And these are the 3 that come in the distress pack for the Tim Holtz distress pack. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to actually mist the card itself with just plain water. And then I'm going to evenly spread it with my dauber, which already has a lot of ink on it from other stuff that I've done. Alright, then I actually went over a little bit onto my workspace, so I've just dabbed it up, which also makes it look even better. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get excuse me, vintage linen. I'm going to give it a spritz. I'm going to dab a little here and there. There we go. And next we're going to go with the vintage photo. Oops. A little bit ran over onto this one, so I'm just gonna... I oversprayed a little bit onto my library card, but it looks cool, see? So I just rubbed it off a little bit with my dauber, and it's all good. So I've sprayed that a little bit there. And then this one I'm gonna spray from even further up so I get some cool dots. That's even better. Awesome. Fantastic. Hopefully I didn't get any on my clothes. Alright, so just to show you how that looks, there we go. I don't want to do it too much because it'll run down. I'm going to get my dauber and take up the little extra bits and dab here and there. And then if you're lucky enough to have a heat gun, then you will probably be heating this right now. but I'm not. So I'm going to just pop this in the oven for a second. The oven, which incidentally is cooking our dinner right now, so hopefully I won't get any pasta bake on it. Alright, and while we're waiting for that, I'll show you the next element. I'm just going to clean up my workspace a little bit. There we go. Okay, next element. I'm just going to ink the edges of this little tab, and I'm going to distress and ink the edges of this. So I'm going to use my little distressing tool here. You can use an open pair of scissors. See the V there? It's basically the same thing as the knife inside this there. And all you're aiming to do is to get a rough distressed edge. So there's how it looks with the scissors, you see? And it's much quicker and easier with the actual distressing tool, but I just wanted to show you that you can still do it even if you don't have a distressing tool. So it's quite nice and quick. The other thing that I like to do to add antiquity to my pieces is I will often just take a corner or something and just fold it, crease it, fold it, crease it, fold it a few times back and forth, and then very gently keep it folded and run along the crease like so to give it a bit of a cool look. And then what you do is you just gently, ooh, okay, mine's got some stuff on it. That's no good. It's left some little stripes, but no big deal. I just work with it. There we go. See? And then what we're going to do is we're going to actually do the entire edge like that. There we go. And it's amazing how quick you can get this stuff to come together, especially when you got the right tools. It doesn't have to be expensive. I really don't have very many fancy tools. I can't afford them, and I'm on a really tight budget. And so I just make do with what I can, and I get the occasional treat. I got those distress spraying stains from Michael's with a 50% off coupon. So there were, I think, $10, and I got it for like $5. So I was like, yay, score. And now I'm just dabbing a little bit here and there and doing some little swirly motions. And there you go. There's your card. Now, if you want the edges more distressed, which I do, I'm going to grab my walnut stain here. And I like my edges just a tad darker, especially here and there. There we go. Doesn't have to be the whole edge. I just want some definition. Now this is really very overdone, and I've done that so you guys can see it mainly on the video. I probably would do it a little bit more subtle in real life, but it's still going to look good. Okay, so it's up to you whether you want to do the back and the back side, so that when you do your journaling, it's, you know, all nicely done and all that sort of stuff. But it's not necessary. Sometimes you can just go around like so in a circular pattern and just get enough ink on there so it doesn't look like stark white. There we go. See? And then what you can do, which really looks cool too, is if you get your mister after you've done that, and you just spritz, it will add like a water sprayed pattern to it, you see. And I don't mind it dripping at this point because it just makes it look even cooler. So I'm going to stick this one in the oven and get the other one. All right, and here's the one we did earlier. Let's not let that dry out. Here's the one